Don't forget to check out my Patreon where we have exclusive content for groups such as Twice, 17, Red Velvet, Blackpink, NCT, Super M, SHINee, AT, Stray Kids, and so much more, along with K-dramas, concerts, and other variety shows. Hey guys, Andrew, and today I'm finally doing my Q&A video. I've been wanting to do it, but I had to hold it off a little bit because I want to make sure I can answer everything. I have the questions here, and I haven't read them yet, so I contemplated, do I read first and kind of think about the answers, or do I just go for it? And to be honest, I just ended up obviously just going for it. I didn't read them yet. So maybe this will be 80 minutes long, who knows. But yeah, I'm curious because I did say you can do non-K-pop or K-pop. I don't really mind. I clearly love K-pop, so I don't mind just answering those questions, and plus that's why we're here. That's why we're on the channel. That's why we have conjoined on this channel together. But yeah, let's just hop into the video. So first question, I've been watching you since early earphones only videos. I don't know how you made it through those, but thank you. And it's so nice to see your channel grow. Thank you. Honestly, I still think back to my old channel and how that was like at 6K before I deleted, and I'm imagining how much it could have grown since then. That was 2 years ago. Makes me sad. But then also, when I did the new channel, I was like, well, I might as well do some new groups, and then I probably wouldn't have gotten to Girls' Generation and stuff like that. So I guess it worked out, but it is sad. I don't know if you're referring to those videos, but regardless, can you show us how your recording setup has changed? I don't know if you want to see that. It's honestly, okay, I'm cheap and I'm simple. I'm a simple girl. I don't think reactions need much. Personally, when I'm watching a reaction video of someone who has like probably a $10,000 setup versus like someone in their basement, just microphone, computer, I see no difference. And I'm sure some people do, but it really doesn't change anything. Like, I don't care what anyone says, reactions are the easiest videos to do, easiest videos to edit, easiest, unless you're like doing movies and stuff where you have to cut it up. Those take longer, I'm sure. I don't even bother editing down K-dramas because I know that's gonna be hard to edit. That's why they only go on Patreon. Reactions are easy, cheap, simple. You just need a screen recorder, and that's it. So here, okay, I guess I'll show you. Bear with me. This is my microphone. I still contemplate going back to the other microphone. I feel like this one's better for like, cause there's like the lower button where stop talking, and that helps a lot because I'm in an apartment. So if you've seen in videos before this microphone, sometimes there will be noise, and that's annoying. So that helps. I do have to charge it, but it usually is good for the whole day, except that one Super Junior video, but I managed to save that. And then I had a very cheap, like $5 microphone that I would clip on, but then my hair would get in the way, and I would always notice that, and that's annoying. And you can't, like, mute it and stuff. And I was like, I need a microphone that mutes, because it's just easier, and I'm allowed to kind of record more, even though I still kind of just record the same. But it's just probably easier and nicer for you guys. And I don't have to be like cautious of what time to record. I got my new computer. On my old computer, I would use Bandicam, which was like, I think like $50, just one purchase. But I got a new computer. I'll show you that. So that's the new computer. Nice. It's an iMac. And I use, don't look at my nails, but this. It's QuickTime, and good enough. I use QuickTime, and I had to do a lot of hacking and editing to get the recording of the sound, because iMacs and stuff like that don't let you use sound. So like you can record video, but it won't record the audio, and I had to like spend the whole day figuring that out, because there's a way to do it, but it took a while. Thankfully I have at least somewhat brains, so I got through it. And YouTube, I used that, and then I sent it to my OneDrive, and then I edit on my phone, and I use KineMaster, and I just pay $5 a month for that, and I just record on my phone. Because honestly, you don't need a nice camera. Like, you really don't. Like, would you guys really notice or care if the video was just like a little bit of a higher like resolution? No, I doubt it. I really doubt it. There are people who really care about video editing and everything. I think most K-pop stans could care less. Couldn't care less. Like, they would not mind. I, as someone who loves watching reactions, do not care. And when a lot of people spend so much money on equipment and stuff, I kind of feel bad. I'm like, you didn't need to. Like, no one's commenting this video is low quality. Like, and if they are, it's probably one person. We care about the person's enjoyment and reaction of the videos that we send them and want them to watch. So yeah. And how do you manage to record, upload daily? I like K-pop, so it's not a hassle. I think if it starts becoming a hassle, I would quit. But like, I really like K-pop, so it doesn't matter too much. Like, if I don't record a day, it's fine, because I record so much, so no one would notice. And I always record a lot in one day, and I probably record at least one video a day, but there were days where I probably don't. But if I record a lot one day, I like record a lot on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then usually there's releases on Fridays and Mondays, and I'll usually squeeze those in. And then after work, and I edit every day, so. The editing is actually really easy. It's more like transferring the videos. That takes a while. And uploading on YouTube for some reason takes longer these days, so that's annoying. So I have to kind of time it right. If all your fabs were going on tour around the same time, choose 5 groups you'd be willing to spend money for concert tickets on. You mean right now? You mean what's happening currently, where Stray Kids, TXT, 17, ITZY are all on tour right now? If we're talking like groups that will probably never tour again, like, no offense, but like logically probably won't tour, like at least in America again. If we're including all of those, if we're including groups that maybe aren't together anymore and stuff, or like aren't like gonna, like, I really doubt SHINee and Super Junior are ever gonna tour again, like at least in America. Have they ever toured in America? I don't know. Okay, I would say BTS. I've already seen them twice, but I would just like at least, because I didn't know my last BTS concert was going to be the last one, because obviously we thought 2020 would happen, so like my mind was never like, oh, this is the last concert. I like to kind of just have a conclusion concert for them. 17, which I'm really trying to do and see in August, so you know, I want to see Treasure really badly. I would love to see 027 Icon, but that's like a dream that will never happen. But Icon and SHINee, I think those are the groups I really want to see. I would like to kind of see, like, I want to see Stray Kids and TXT, but if you mean currently, those are the groups I prioritize. I want to see TXT and Stray Kids, but I don't mind waiting. Like, I don't mind waiting for them. So those are my top 5. Wait, I want to see NCT Dream. I can wait. Like, I won't die if I don't see NCT Dream, but I will die if I don't see like SHINee, which I probably never will. But you know, SHINee's on my list. I want to congratulate you since your old channel. I just want to congratulate you. I've been watching your reactions since your old channel. I'm so sorry. RIP that channel. RIP that quality. Like, this quality's not better, but it's just a little better. Like, there's upgrade. We love that. And I really love them. You talk about other stuff on the videos, which I find interesting, and I agree with you all the time. Do you? I don't think anyone ever agrees with me all the time, but that's okay, because, like, that's why we're here. That's why we're on this channel. We don't have to agree. Like, I know I'm opinionated. That's why I think I like watching other people being opinionated, so I don't mind. I'm like, well, I enjoy when people talk, even if I don't agree. So I have been confused about my sexuality for years. Any advice? Any advice? I would say my advice is to not think about it. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? I feel like sexuality nowadays is ambiguous. Like,
I don't even really label myself, I just say gay. Because, like, I put gay as just, like, to me, gay, I guess, is just, like, saying kind of like you're queer. And queer, I know people don't like, there's, like, a mixed variety of people who like the word queer and who don't. When I say queer, I mean, like, an ambiguous word to describe someone who's not, like, cis straight. Like, they're just queer. Like, especially if you don't say bisexual, pansexual, gay, lesbian, queer is, like, a good thing. I would say, what's your age? Because your age, I think, definitely matters. Family is strict. Well, family is strict. Don't ever come out until you can leave. That's, like, my biggest thing. Don't come out until you know, or if you know, you have a safe place to go to. I'm bad with advice. I'm someone who you should never ask advice for, but for some reason people go to me. But yeah, I guess my if you're still confused about it, I would watch videos of people coming out, because that always helped me kind of relate. So when I was in middle school, everyone was coming out. That was the year of coming out on YouTube. I was in high school, 2014, 15. If you were there, you were there. Connor, Fanta, and all of them were coming out. And I already kind of knew I liked girls at that time, so it didn't, like, open my eyes, but it just helped me relate. Especially, God, I thought she was so cute. What's her name? This is why we should look things up beforehand. She had, like, short brown hair. Well, who cares? Wait. I'm gonna put lesbian coming out, because there's not many. Wow, I really can't find her. Oh, Ingrid Nelson. So, yeah, I watched her. That was 7 years ago. Wow, jeez. Also, sadly, it was that era where Shane Dawson was really popular and stuff, and I really like Shane Dawson. I kind of liked Jeffree Star, but not as much. Like, with Jeffree Star, I knew he was problematic, so I'd only occasionally watch him. Though I'm gonna brag, I started disliking Shane Dawson before everyone else did, and people really hated me for it, because I would really critique him around, like, Jeffree Star era, when he was doing videos with Jeffree, because, like I said, I kind of watched Jeffree, but then I watched, Shane's video on Jeffree, and I saw Shane defending the things that Jeffree did that I didn't really know about, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know about all this. So while everyone was kind of starting to like Jeffree, I was like, I kind of don't know why are we defending, but regardless, that's a whole different thing. So I would say, when my cousin found out I liked girls, she said, it's because I watch a lot of gay stuff, and I was like, now we don't talk about it now. I feel like she thinks I don't, but who cares. But I would actually say, watch some gay stuff and see how you kind of, like, do you tend to relate to the queer stories more, or do you just think they're cute? Because, like, that's okay too, just, you know. Or do you kind of relate to the straight couples, etc.? Kind of just, you know, dip your toe in everything. Also, it doesn't matter if you change your mind or anything, because it's not going to affect anyone except yourself, and it won't affect you really. It'll just be phases of your life. Because people are like, it's not a phase, and it's probably not, but for some people it could be. And I feel like it's not a phase is kind of a weird term to use, because isn't experimenting kind of a phase? Like, some people, like, there's always that joke of, like, experimenting in college, but I think that for some straight people, they probably do experiment in college, and then they're like, oh, this isn't for me, but it was nice to try it. So that is kind of a phase for them, but that means they're just not gay. So if you experiment and you're like, actually, never mind, that's okay. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. So it definitely depends on your age. Make sure you're safe before you come out. Like, do not, And then I would say if it's your mom or your dad, depending on who's more strict, I think most people feel safer coming out to their mom. I've heard many people, I think every time someone's come out on YouTube, they always say they tell the mom and the mom tells the dad, which I find sad and interesting. So I'd probably come out to mom first because, sometimes the dad can be violent and we do not want that. Also, the mom can be violent too, but, sadly, more cautious with that. What is the one K-pop song you listen to whenever you feel sad or down? A comfort song. I feel like I don't have one song. I don't really have a go-to. I feel like when I'm sad, I don't actually listen to music much. I kind of watch things. One's not coming to mind. Where's my playlist? Well, if it's like where I want a sad song, probably Timeless by NCT or Stigma by BTS. If I want like happiness and like an upbeat song, maybe, I don't really know. I'm not someone who goes to a song. I like Marshmallow by IU. I tend to just listen to that one a lot. It just makes me happy. Or it's not really, I just kind of listen to Twice or something. Like, I just listen to a group usually. Like, if I want something. Honestly, I think I probably listen to, like, English songs more when it comes to that. Like older songs that, like, give me nostalgia. So, like, One Direction or something. But yeah, I never really have a go-to for that type of stuff. Best and worst K-pop, non-K-pop concert experience. Worst concert experience in my life was Taylor Swift, and it's not at all her fault. It was just the venue sucked, and if I'm seeing 17 in August, fingers crossed, that's the same venue. So I hope it's better this time. It was horrible. It was the before and after, where they just did not know what they were doing with the cars, and I had to like run to meet my mom because they wouldn't let her like drive. It was just horrible. So it wasn't like the concert really. For the concert, I would say Fifth Harmony, the girls were just not feeling it. So I now, with context, I know why, but like only like Camila and Ali were really like, and I think Normani were like really feeling the songs and into the mood. It also was raining, so it kind of sucked. But I still had fun. Like, I never left a concert regretting it, so that's good. Best concert, probably 17 with the whole thing, because I met friends there. Like, not met people I knew, I just like made friends there, and we kind of like all hung out. It was really fun. I get good vibes. Also, strangely, even though I was alone traveling, it was kind of fun at the hotel and stuff. I think there's just like a creepy pizza man and like I got anxious walking to the hotel at night alone, but I actually walked most of the way with someone. Like, we walked together because we were kind of going the same way, so that was nice. And yeah, 17 was just probably my favorite in general with the whole thing. But like, I really have good memories with BTS concerts too. Twice was fun, just kind of the weather and everything. I don't understand winter concerts. Those are never fun. So 17 and Twice were both in winter, so that sucked. But it was okay. Those were my only winter concerts, so that's interesting. How do you manage to keep up with all the content? I do not. I don't keep up with any content. That's why I'm always late. The only thing I keep up with is decently is like albums. And that's because I don't know. I just, I'm like, oh, new comeback. So I think I was only really aware last minute for Luna this year, and I think it's just bad PR, or maybe I'm just not good at keeping up. It was kind of a very quick release though, to be honest. And life outside, work-life balance, basically. Well, I have a real job, but it's only 4 days, and I actually don't work that many hours. To be fair, I work 3 hours on Fridays, 7 hours Mondays, and then the weekend, it depends on when I finish. It's usually like 6 hours each day. So I don't work a lot because I have this too. So at least I have a decent amount. I make more money on Patreon, actually. Almost, I actually it's about the same amount. Summer's coming, so I'll be making more money because I'll probably be staying longer on the weekends. But yeah, I don't, I don't, I don't work certain, like, I don't do a certain amount of content on YouTube to where I'm like making sure, because obviously I don't have a schedule. I just do what I can. So like, I do get frustrated when family comes over and I'm not aware. I'd be annoyed anyways, even if I wasn't doing YouTube, because then I have to like, I have a mental schedule. I'm like, okay, when I'm at work, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I want to record this video, this video. I keep tabs open and I try to make that my list. I never do it all though. So whenever anything like comes up, I get annoyed, but I just get through it. I'm like, maybe I can sneak in a video while they're gone or something. But yeah, I try. Your take on anime BL? I assume BL boy love. Anime, I've always wanted to get into anime, but I don't know. I don't know how to say this because I feel like a lot of K-pop stans are anime fans, but I kind of find anytime I watch anime, I find it cringy. And I try not to because it's not cringy. I know it's not, but like, it's very exaggerated. It's very, the expressions, the sexualization for some, and the like sounds, and I don't think it's because of the language, because I watch Japanese stuff and that's fine. It's just the voice acting, it cringes me out, and I don't want to watch dubbed. So I try, but I've never been able to. I've been trying since like 2014. I've been trying to watch anime forever, and it's obviously not because of captions or anything. It's just I can never get into it because I don't like the sounds and stuff, which is weird because I really like ASMR and stuff, but I don't know. So anime's fine though, like it's great. I'm glad people are liking cultures and everything, and K-pop and anime. I hope people know there's more to like Japanese culture and Korean culture than that, because there is. I always try to like, I step into, that's why I'm doing like K-dramas and everything, because I do want to learn more about the cultures. But I also think most people don't mind if you're into like anime, but maybe you don't want to like dive into Japanese culture because it's just a form of entertainment. But you know, there are people who kind of like fetishize things, so we don't like that. Speaking of that, we have BL. BL is boy love, if you don't know. I'm assuming that's what we're referring to. I don't really care. I watch it. I used to watch it more. I don't have time really anymore. I put boy love under something different. So like, Heartstopper to me isn't boy love, because Heartstopper to me is just romance that happens to feature a gay couple. Same with like Young Royals and stuff, or Scum. But then there's like, I would say boy love is specifically to me like Thai or Asian in general, like very heavily focused on the couple of like, I take, what do you guys think? Do you think that's different? Because like Heartstopper, Young Royals and everything, their storylines outside of the relationship. It's not just that. But like, to me, like any Thai or Asian things, kind of like on YouTube and stuff. Where's one? Because I have one in my watch later that I never watched. Well, okay, so Theory of Love. It's Kai and Third. That's the two characters for the couple. Their story is the sole focus, and it's very clear that it's too, like, kind of, I'm okay with it because we don't have gay stuff. Like, we don't. And people will be like, oh, but everything's gay now. It's really not. It's just everything's in the focus. Like, Stranger Things, people still to this day have an issue with Will maybe being gay. And that to me says enough. That to me says we are still like 10 steps behind. Will is clearly gay. And it's not because I want him to be gay. I really couldn't care less. Will's not anywhere near my favorite character. But he's clearly, at least he's queer-coded. And it bothers me that the writers, the Duffer Brothers, really want to like tease it. And I guarantee if they do not make Will, like, they're teasing Will liking Mike a lot, and that's very queerbaity. It is. unless they make it happen. And even if they do, like him saying it, it still feels queerbaity because they don't give him anything outside of that. So that's an issue with me. But that to me is like showing we don't have a lot of gay content, because to this day we still want to deny or forbid or think it's weird that Will might like Mike when we have Mike and 11 making out at the age of like 14. I can't remember how old they were, like 16. Either way, making out seamlessly in the first episode of season 3, and it was really weird. But I don't mind it too much because it's just kids, like, and it happens. But then people have an issue with Will maybe liking Mike, and they're like, that's sexualizing Will, and they're just kids. And I'm like, what do you mean? Mike and 11 were like dating since 11, the age of 11, in like the first season. So why is it wrong if Will maybe likes Mike? So there's that whole issue. So I'm glad we have a lot of queer content. I do feel a little weird with the Thai ones, because not all, but like that specific community, because it does feel a little more cringy, and like the comments will always say, oh, I don't know why, I'm straight, but I really love seeing guys together, but I hate straight couples. And I don't know, those type of things make me feel weird, and like it's fetishizing. Also, it's sad because we have so much BL, but we don't have a lot of GL. We need that girl love. But it's okay, because I do enjoy that we have more like gay love, and I do think in some ways we kind of have to push that a bit more, because for some reason a lot of people are really, really against two guys dating rather than two girls, but then that's also just invalidating to the girls who date, because then they don't want to like, it's almost like they're like, oh yeah, sure, you're lesbian, okay, that type of thing. So I don't know. If there was a Kingdom 2 or technically Kingdom 3 or Queendom 3, what would the lineup be? Well, I guess Road to Kingdom is, I would put that in Kingdom. I would have no lineup because I don't want any more, to be honest. I really don't. But if we were to, I want it to be the big groups. So this will never happen. But I would be very curious if it's like BTS, 17, Monsta X, SHINee, Super Junior, and EXO. I just think that would be an interesting lineup for the guys. I want like that power, and like the fandoms will hate each other. It'll be great. We love the drama. Queendom, Red Velvet, Everglow, Twice, Blackpink. Wow, I'm ready for that drama. I was gonna say Oh My Girl, but Oh My Girl were in Queendom. Can Oh My Girl come again? And then I want to say Girls' Generation, but would they put the two groups together? Maybe. Girls' Generation, let's just throw it in there. Or IVE would be fun. They have more songs than Kepler did, so if Kepler can be on, so. If you wish to be an idol, which agency would you try out for? I wouldn't. I wouldn't, but oh, dang. I guess Big Hit. It feels the safest, though they seem to be pretty against girl groups, but I guess Big Hit. I cannot imagine. Wait, I would go to Kong Daniels. Kong Daniel feels like what's Kong Daniels' company? I'll go to him. Connect? Is that what it is? Yeah. Or KQ. They said KQ, P Nation for being cool, or Big Four for more success, fame. I wouldn't want to go to Big Four because there's more pressure. Idols dating publicly, yes or no? Yes. Though, subtly. Like, no offense to Hyuna and Dawn, but maybe not like Hyuna and Dawn. But I think that's more of their personalities. I feel like they're like out there. That's who they were before they were out, and that's why I feel like when people say they're doing it for publicity, I'm like, are they? Because I feel like that's just their personalities, and that's why they're made for each other. They're both out there people. Like, I doubt if they were allowed to date, and they just announced it. I don't think they would be doing all the posting and stuff because, you know, you'd have to simmer it more, but because they don't have any regulations, they will just openly do that, and I think that's cool because that's they're just being their true selves, and that's who they are. Like, I wouldn't imagine if IU was publicly dating someone, she seems more reserved. I doubt she would go out there and do it. But I would say publicly, yes, because we need to regulate that, and then I think it will lower sussing. Sussings happened because of the regulations. That's why when in America, for example, always gonna have to put out One Direction, because One Direction are literally just a British version of a K-pop group. Their whole storyline, their sussings, because there are literal. I didn't realize this, but I just kind of went back to my One Direction days and today actually, and was like kind of reliving it a bit. They had sussings. We had names of people who we were like, we need to call them out for harassing the guys and stuff. And One Direction are basically British K-pop group. Like, they did documentaries, they did all that, they were overworked, they put out way more music than they probably should have in that time period. They put an album out every year, but it was the equivalent amount of songs of like 2 mini albums, which is like a regular thing in K-pop, like 2 mini albums a year or 1 big album. Like, that's kind of like, that's what it was. And so Zayn and Perry were a couple, and people shipped them. Of course, people shipped Ziam or Zeri or Zooey or Zyle, but like, Perry would get hate, but she wouldn't get much hate, and it also helped her group. And they weren't a public, like, they weren't a publicity stunt. They were a real couple. So I think it allowed a natural growth for Little Mix. Like, it helped her group, but it was real still. And I think that could help a lot, because obviously idols are dating each other, gay, straight, whatever. They're dating each other in different groups, or probably even in the same groups. Who knows? I bet there's at least one couple in one group out there somewhere that's gay, or experimenting with each other. But let's say someone from Blackpink dated someone from like iKON or something. It would help both their groups, even if they would get hate, because they're going to get hate anyways, so who cares if it's from dating someone, because you're going to get hate no matter what in K-pop, so they should just give up on that and just let them date. Also, you know, honestly, if they were allowed to date, they probably wouldn't get caught, because you could help them cover up the dating more. Like, if Lisa went up to YG and was like, hey, I'm dating what's his name from what group, he could be like, okay, we'll get more security so you guys can date. Like, it would just be better if you really want to hide it. But they said publicly. I would say publicly, sure, like, if they want to, because some people in Hollywood are dating and they don't want it public, like Zendaya and Tom Holland, or Sean and Camila were hiding it for a little bit, like, regardless if you think those two are stunts. But, like, they hid it for a bit, and then they would come out and date publicly. And I think some people, I feel like most couples want to keep it hidden for a little bit anyways, so if companies would just help, it would be better. But I doubt it's ever gonna happen, because it's been too long, and now we could always try, though. We could always try to rewind it. Favorite type of variety, game-focused ones, or ones that are parodies or skits, host or no host? No host. I don't like host. I started liking JJ, so I got used to JJ. She's fine. I think it also depends if the host is an idol. For example, like Eunhyuk or Lee Took or whatever. I think there's more of a, understanding. But when it's like a 40-year-old... Oh, sorry, Lee Took. When it's like a 40-year-old... Sorry, Lee Took. And they're like with a group that's like a baby group, there's just a clear gap, and they're always like, oh, I didn't know idols were just wild these days. Like, bitch, what do you mean? Girls' generations were like that anyways, whatever. Always prefer no host unless there were previously an idol. So, like, Weekly Idol's fine, but remember the host before we got into Eunhyuk and Kwang Hee? You remember those hosts? It didn't work for a reason. They were not idols, so it was weird. Or maybe they were, but they were way older, so it just felt awkward. And even then, Kwang Hee can be a little cringy sometimes, but I think that's just who he is. I like game-focused ones. The only parody slash skits I like are when they're like K-drama-ish. I usually don't like the ones where they're in the office and stuff, but TXT kind of did it better where like at least they were doing games and everything. So definitely game-focused. I also think it depends on the group, because obviously some groups do better. Like Treasure did really well with their parody dramas and stuff like that, so I like those ones. But then like I feel like 17 do really well with the games. I prefer when 17 do games instead of parodies and stuff. Unless we're gonna do an all-out K-drama parody, I want that. Any group you think is underrated or is popular but not for the right reasons? I mean, I kind of say it in the videos, but if you don't watch those videos and you don't know, I would say Ace and Purple Kiss to me are the two. I'm gonna give Purple Kiss leeway though, because they're only a year old. Ace forever deserved better. I'm so sad that they had to enlist. Who enlisted? June? I think it was just June. No, June and WoW, right? WoW. I need to get back because they've been on a little bit of a hiatus because of that, so that's sad. Oh, and One. I wouldn't say One Us, because One Us is doing fine. I think One Us is doing fine where they're at. Purple Kiss, I want to say them, but I also think we have time, and they seem like they're doing decently well musically. Check out Purple Kiss's variety; they're adorable. One we sadly have an enlisted member, Younghoon. So sad. I would blame the pandemic for that one though. They're great. They're a band. If you like Day 6 or The Rose or anything, you'll like them. They're adorable. They have variety with One Us. There's twins. There's Sean and Dongmyeon. So Sean's in One Us, and then Dongmyeon's in One We. And Sean's more of a dancer, and then Dongmyeon's more of a singer. We love that. And then we have Kia. Kia's in One We. He's adorable. He's so cool, but he's a rapper, writer, all that. Bass. I don't remember. Love them. So One We, Ace is really cool. They're known for their Undercover and Savage era, but they do great songs outside of that too. And they're cute. And Purple Kiss, but we're kind of leewaying on that. I feel like everyone else is doing fine. I want to just throw in Tempest, but Tempest is actually doing pretty good, and their variety's getting decent views, so they're doing fine. And popular, but not for the right reasons. Blackpink. I'm not even gonna take it away. But it's sad because I don't think Blackpink shouldn't be popular. I just wish YG. Wow, we're saying the same thing over and over again. I wish YG would stop treating them like models and treat them more like musicians and artists. But at this point, I don't even think the girls care that much. And I still love Blackpink. I will still watch them. I still think they're cute. But it feels like they've given up. So I've kind of given up as well. So there's that. Nothing new here. I don't think any group doesn't deserve their popularity though. I don't want to say Blackpink don't deserve it. I'm just saying I think it's wasted. And it could have been given to another group that would put more effort. But it's not their fault. But they've clearly given up themselves. So I also don't want to say I don't want everyone to think I'm a Blackpink hater though. Because I really am not. I watch them. I enjoy them. I like their music. I haven't listened to their music since probably Lisa's solo. I've actually taken all their music off my playlist, so because I get tired of it because we only have 20 songs, so I have to kind of go through waves. Right now I haven't listened to them since probably August, unless it's on a variety, because I don't want to get bored of it and never want to like it again. So yeah, because also that shows, because BTS on a break for a while, but they have at least 200 songs, 300, I don't know if you include all the solos. So while they're gone, I can at least switch around the music, but Blackpink you cannot. You can't. It's sad. What kind of idol do you see yourself biasing the most often? I tend to bias leaders or rappers. I kind of have two different versions. The sub-vocalist that deserves to be main, but that's not taking away from the main, or the shy, soft-spoken ones. So, but like they have a bit of spice. They have a little spice. So like, and then there's Eunhyuk. I don't know how he got in here. Oh, like yeah. So crazy, weird, chaotic, soft-spoken, kind of cute and sassy, but like very shy still, or like small bean. That's a rapper. So like Eunhyuk and Bumgyu are like in the first category. Then we have like Renjun and Yesung, and then we have like Ki and Chaeyoung. Like they're sassy, small. Well, Ki's not small, but he's like the smallest in the group. So, and like Ki and Chaeyoung, like, and then there's like they all tend to like be vocalists that are like underrated. So like Eunhyuk has a really nice voice. Bumgyu doesn't get many lines. Yesung doesn't get many lines. I tend to bias people who I don't get enough from, but that kind of makes me, excited when they get more. I would also say Jaemin kind of falls into the Bumgyu and Eunhyuk category. They're very weird, very quirky. For girls, I tend to kind of just go, like, I don't think I have a type for them. Like, there's Eve from Luna, Chaeyoung from Twice, Sogi from Red Velvet. They're kind of more sporadic. I think I have a type more with the guys. Like, the pretty boys. Winwin's shy, cute, like Renjun and Yesung, like them. They kind of all feel like the same person. But yeah. Who are your favorite artists outside of K-pop? I have a whole bunch of CDs right here, so I guess I will expose them. I won't show them, but oh no, then my laptop just died. Oh, there we go. One Direction. I listen to all their solos. I don't listen to Liam. Liam's disappointed me, but whatever. That's a whole different conversation. I don't listen to Louis or Liam much. I went through their music and I was like, eh. So I try sometimes. I'll randomly listen. But like Zayn, Nayeon, Harry, I listen to all their music. 5 Seconds of Summer. I do listen to Justin Bieber. Avril Lavigne. I always talk about Avril Lavigne. So Little Mix, Taylor Swift, Avril Lavigne. Did I say that already? Ariana Grande, Melanie Martinez, Conan Gray, Shawn Mendes. I listen to like a lot of random music. Like just a song that like I'll like Shazam. I like a few songs off of Heartbeat or Heartstopper. God, the artist that does the Buzzkill song. I added a few of her songs where she's like, I don't wanna be a buzzkill. I love that song. It's a mood. So, his name is Sugi. I like his songs. He has very morbid, sad, but cute songs. So I should play one. He has this song called Ooh. I think that's the song that made me look him up. Yeah, just look it up. Ooh by Sugi. That type of music. Then I like the In the Heights soundtrack. Demi Lovato, she's occasionally in my playlist. Jonas Brothers, somewhat. Paramore, Fall Out Boy, Sleeping with Sirens. That's from my like emo phase, which wasn't really emo, but yeah, Fifth Harmony a little bit. Camila Cabello, I actually really like her music. I know she's questionable, but I like her music, so I'll be honest. I don't like to hide who I listen to, because I feel like that means you're ashamed, but I feel like you're allowed to like music, even if you don't support everything the artist does. So, I like Eminem a little bit too, and yeah. I'd say those are the main ones, but I do kind of sporadically listen to music. I like old Keke Palmer stuff, things like that. I like a lot of Disney Channel stuff. Like, I'll just throw in a bit of a Liv and Maddie theme song, even though I never watched the show, but I like the theme song. Things like that. When and how did you get into K-pop? I feel like most people know this, because I feel like it's a very blatant and obvious thing that a lot of people did, but I liked BTS in 2018. I have my Instagram post of the day where I asked who was singing a song in a Ponyboy edit, and it was Mic Drop. And then I kind of got into them, and then they performed on the VMAs, whatever one where Jungkook like showed his shirt. He like lifted his shirt up. It was Fake Love era, so I liked them before Fake Love, but I stand hard during Fake Love. And then I'm not the type to only like one thing, because I think that's boring for me. So I would get into a lot of other groups instantly. The same old like Blackpink, and I had a few Twice songs before I got into Twice. I had a few in my playlist, and like random songs in my playlist. And they were usually songs BTS would dance to when they used to go on variety shows. Those were the days. And would dance to like the random K-pop songs. And I'd be like, oh, what's this song? And I would add it in because I'm not against getting into other groups. Clearly. So, yeah. And then I started reacting to K-pop at the end of 2018. And I remember the first few groups were iKON. I think iKON was the first group I learned about, like properly names and stuff outside of Blackpink and BTS. iKON, GOT7, NCT. I got into NCT. They were one of my first groups I got into, and that was a mess. But as people say, if you can get into NCT, you can learn other groups quickly. So that's true. I forgot Halsey. I like Halsey. But yeah. Oh, and Twice Vaughn. I should just like write a list. But and then I really got into K-pop like beginning of 2019. That's when I got into 17 and Monsta X and my life changed. That was great. And then I started doing girl groups finally, which was Red Velvet. I think Idol was the first girl group, and then Red Velvet, Everglow, Twice. And then it all went down from there. And I already knew SHINee because I sadly knew about Jonghyun before I got into K-pop. So I already knew them. It took me a bit to get into them because I didn't want to be sad. But then, of course, I fell in love with them, and I have balanced how I feel about the group and when I should and shouldn't react, and how I, like, because you can kind of just watch, but sometimes you have to be in, like, a right mindset if you're going to watch a group video where maybe someone's not in the group or someone's passed away or something. This goes for outside of K-pop, too. Like, sometimes I can't watch Glee because I'll get really sad about, like, Naya and Corey and stuff, so I kind of have to, like, work when I am able to. But I feel like most people understand that. Who are your current old groups, old biases, and soloists? Okay. Old groups. Currently, number 1 is actually 17. It used to be BTS, 17 took over. I'd even put Twice above BTS right now, too. So 17, Twice, then BTS. Then Treasure, then Super Junior, to be honest, or TXT. Or SHINee. Ugh. They didn't say top 5, but I always try to put top 5. But, like, it definitely changes. Sometimes it's iKON, sometimes it's Monsta X, sometimes it's, like, Stray Kids. Those are, like, definitely my favorite groups. The groups I react to the most are the groups I like the most, because they happen to be really big groups, so they just happen to be the ones that get the most views, but I generally would not be reacting to that much Twice or, like, TXT or anything if I didn't ult them, like, if they weren't my favorites. Also NCT too. It definitely depends on the, like, if it's for music or the artist, because I would say Monsta X's music is what I listen to a lot, but, like, NCT, I like their variety a lot. But I do like their music a lot, but they just have so much, so I happen to not like a lot of it, too. So, yeah. But that's how it depends on the music, too. That's why Super Junior is already kind of ranked up high, because I happen to love their music and listen to it way more than I should at this point. But I also love their variety. Like, they're definitely a group where I love both. And yes, if you're not a fan of Super Junior, I'm very aware of their scandals and everything. I am the type who's like, I can acknowledge it and still enjoy, like, I'm not ignoring it. I'm just not going to bring it up every video. But yeah. And old biases. Okay, let me go off the top of my head. This is hard. Taeyong from BTS, Chaeyoung from Twice, Eunhyuk from Super Junior. He's already made it. Love that man. Will die for him. Minghao and Joshua from 17. Yes, 2 from 17. I know. I'm a hoe for 17. Asahi from Treasure. Dang it, I hate that I don't know. Jay from Icon, Kihyun from Monsta X. Renjun from NCT. Dang it, it's actually kind of hard. I'm trying to just do 10. But I feel like I'm missing people. Oh, and Key from SHINee. My god, I hate myself. There's definitely more, but those are like off the top of my head. What kind of idol do you see yourself? Oh wait, I already did that one. Where are you from? I'm from Virginia. I was raised in New York till I was probably, like, I moved to New York as a baby. Raised there till I was 4 or 5. And then moved back to Virginia for reasons. Which bias would you say is the closest to your personality and which is your complete opposite? Anyone like Bumgyu and Jaemin and Eunhyuk, very opposite. But then like Chaeyoung, Yesung, and like Winwin, I would say I'm more like them. Specifically probably like Chaeyoung, because Chaeyoung's not necessarily shy or anything, but she has her moments. Like she's not like in the forefront, but she's not like Mina where she's like completely like quiet in the background. I would say I'm very much like Chaeyoung. Or like Felix a bit. Felix is a little quirky, but like he's not as out there as you would think. He just happens to be popular, unlike me. So we're not that similar. But I would say like that, or like Renju, like personality wise. So, but like anyone like Jaemin. Well, Jaemin's quiet though. So like I'm opposite of like Bumgyu or Eunhyuk or like Key. Like they're definitely not. I don't think I would say I'm like them. But it's hard to see myself from the outside perspective. So who knows? Maybe someone would disagree. I'm not offline. Why'd you lie? What is your favorite and least favorite album cover from any group? Honestly, I forget what album covers look like. I think I hate more certain packaging, not like album covers. I guess I'm not gonna lie, I don't like ATEEZ's covers, but I like their packaging. Or like, I got one. Let me find it. Okay, my least favorite is this. What is this? What is this? It says the table. Nui's the table. Where's the table? Also, why is it just like a splotch? Also, look at the spine. Look at this disgusting spine. I personally hide this one a lot because I hate it. It feels cheap. I feel like I got a faulty one, but I don't think I did. So, and my favorite, I actually just thought about it, is this one. It's so cute. It's definitely, I think it's my favorite. I like this Gravity and Treasures. That's why they're over there. Cause they have like a theme, and I actually do like the covers and everything. They feel good. They're like, the Gravity ones are matte, and I like to rub them. And then the Treasure ones are simple, but like they kind of follow a theme. I think that's cute. Whereas ATEEZ's, I love that there's a theme and everything, but I think the covers are a little boring. Like at least Treasure has some holographic stuff and stuff on it to like make up for it. But I'm not like against Treasure's God. Against ATEEZ's. It's just, you know, wish we could have a bit more on there. I actually have no issue with like pictures on covers. I feel like people really think it's cheap and everything. But if you look at like Ariana Grande or anything, her covers are really pretty. I guess it's because there's only one of her, while there's like maybe it feels a bit cheap if there's more members. But I think you can make it into a way like One Direction, like they made it cool looking. They kind of like, it wasn't too bad. Like they made it work. I think a good photographer could make it work without looking cheap, but whatever. I forgot where I left off. What is your favorite K-pop comeback from this year so far? Solo wise, Kang Daniel. Group wise, I actually really like NCT Dreams. I thought they did really good. I think it was such a big step up from last year. Our Treasures was great. Treasures is just small, so I kind of don't feel like I hesitate with mini albums, because you can always do pretty good with a mini album. You have like less songs to mess up on, or less songs to like. But like everything was a bop to me. I kind of forget. Wait. Playlist, new bops. What's my playlist? Yeah, this is gonna be a long video. Oh yeah, Stray Kids. I got bored of Idol quickly. I had to kind of take them off because they were playing a lot. But yeah, I think NCT Dreams, or I really liked Oh My Girls. I haven't taken their music off yet. Yeah, I'd say those two. NCT Dream and like Oh My Girl, and then solo-wise, Kang Daniel. I also really liked Treasures, but I want to kind of wait because they might be having a comeback, so I always feel like I'm forgetting someone. Oh, there's Purple Kiss. Once again, it's a little bit of a smaller album. I liked Vivi's God, Luna and Vivid popped up, that's why I said Vivi's. Dreamcatcher, they were good, but I wouldn't put them like my favorite. Yeah, I would say Treasure, NCT Dream, and Oh My Girl so far, and then Kang Daniel, but he's solo, so I hesitate to say him. I would put him in a different category. I like 17s, but I find myself not listening as much. I don't know if it's just because my shuffle doesn't want to put them on or what, but I have been listening to Kang Daniel a lot, and so far haven't gotten bored quite yet, but it hasn't been that long, so who knows. Not K-pop, but you mentioned before that you're a Harry Styles fan. What do you think of his new album, Harry's House? Oh wait, I forgot a song. Will you do a reaction to Nizui? Sorry, don't know if I'm pronouncing that. They're technically J-pop, but they're under JYP, and it's cute, bright concept that you like. It's like early Twice. I noticed Japanese gets blocked a lot, like even if they're not a Japanese group, so I hesitate. Also, I'm trying to go back into getting to weekly, even though a member left. So I'm trying not to add anything new, but maybe one day. So Harry Styles, I like Harry's House a lot. I would say it has a very same sound, so I don't like. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate some songs. Unlike his previous two albums, Fine Line and I think it was just Harry Styles, right? Self-titled. I feel like those two were a bit more sporadic to where I have more sounds. This album felt a little more of the same, but I enjoyed it. So, I mean, he's Harry Styles. Can't do much wrong. Are you into any first-gen K-pop? I don't know what groups would be first-gen, but so far, no. I guess JYP's group, right? Or is it YG? Whatever. Like, I guess they're first-gen. I don't know if I'll ever get into them. I'm trying to kind of trickle through my way of second gen. I've been liking second gen. I can't see myself liking first gen because I don't even like listen to much NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, and I feel like that would be like first gen, like that era of time. So we'll see one day. If you're in a K-pop group, what position would you like to be in? See, I'm not a singer, not a dancer. I don't like anything like that. That's why K-pop is my biggest take on music. That's why I struggle to explain why, if I do or don't like things. I can't see myself being in a group, but I'd probably be like Mina or something. Like I would be like, she's like lead, or like I think she's just vocalist, but like she's kind of like lead dancer. I'd probably be that. I'd be Mina. I'm Mina. I'd be her. Who is your bias between the K-pop soloist? I guess that would be like established soloist, like IU, Taeyeon, Kang Daniel. I would say I like Kang Daniel a lot. Like I like Taeyeon, but like I'm not like, oh I love, like I haven't even bought any albums. I can't see myself buying any solo albums anyways, but Dawn. I like Dawn, like from Pentagon, but he's not in Pentagon anymore. Dawn and Zico and Kang Daniel. I guess out of them, Dawn is the one I bias the most. Like I really have a strong liking of him. but he doesn't have many songs, but I've never taken any of his music out of my playlist. I would say with Zico, sometimes I take some music out. But yeah, probably Dawn. I like Dawn a lot. And I've been getting into IU. I'm going to start doing some solo, like, IU albums and stuff eventually, so. Favorite NCT unit? I would say Dream. Dream is established. It was wavy, but we've gone too long. It depends on the next album of Wavy, because I really love Wavy. But Dream has finally taken over as my favorite musically and personality. Like, they were my favorite personality, while Wavy was my favorite music. Now they've taken both. So sorry, 127. I feel like 127 is weird now. I used to only like 127, like, because I knew them the most. But now it's switched. It all switched. I don't know how this happened. We need a good... I think it's because their previous album was good, but for some reason, I get bored of their music quicker than Dream. I think they struggle with the catchy stuff, because Dream always has at least a few catchy ones that get, like, balance out the more, like, other sounds. Oh, I forgot about this. I did an Avatar The Last Airbender ranking on my old channel. I'm probably going to do it again. And I didn't remember if you said what is your favorite season or book. Favorite is definitely book 2. I felt like book 3, they like, don't get me wrong, I can watch any season of Avatar. I definitely watch season 1 the least, but I can watch any of them and I'm happy. I love Toph. She's my favorite character, so I definitely, her and Suki, my favorites, love them, queens, and Tylee and May. I like all the girls, basically. But I would say book 3 is always ranked number 1 for a lot of people, but there was not much of a story in book 3 part 2. Like, once, like the last 10 episodes. Once Zuko joined, it felt more single episodes versus overarching story. Book 2 had such a good storyline, so yeah. Plus, that's when we established a lot of things. Though book 3 has a lot of my favorite episodes, I watch season 2 all the way through so many times, while with book 3 I kind of pick random episodes. So yeah. Ever have a change in your top bias in any group? I'll say no. I just add biases, but my top's always the same. Like, Joshua's always number 1 for 17. It's just Minghao's it's just, like, that much of a difference. But, like, I tend to always keep my number 1. I'll just, like, add someone on. I guess a lot of my other biases could be classified as bias wreckers, but how I classify is number 1 alt, like, second or third bias, and then bias wreckers. Like, that's how I do it. I consider my old bias very different from biases, but that's just me. I think I have a different ranking in my head. Favorite, I forgot this person's question. Favorite K-drama and BL drama. So like I said, BL drama to me is the Thai dramas, or like, I guess you could say maybe there's Japanese and Korean ones. The only Korean BL dramas I've seen are the one with June from Ace, which was fine. It was fine. The kiss was great. It wasn't a weird kiss, which I really liked. June went in for it. We love that for him. But then the Colorblind was the drama that Hall from The Boys, where he used to be in The Boys, Hall was in. Colorblind? It was something like that. That was actually a cute one, and I think Hall did great, and I think he also went in for that kiss. Like, there was lips moving. We love that. We love non-paper kisses. But I don't like the stories very much. They're kind of boring. The BL dramas in Korea, because as much as I harp on Thai BL dramas, at least there's, like, touching and, like, and I feel like that sounds weird that I want touching and kissing, but it's more just because I want it to feel like a real relationship. But then K-dramas, they do that with the straight couples anyways too. So I would never reach out much for any BL dramas in K-drama world, because I already struggle with straight K-drama relationships. So at least I know with Thai dramas, there's more actual romance brewing and less back and forth. At least from the ones I watch. I'm very picky. While like I also have never seen many I don't think I've seen any Japanese dramas. So I would say my favorite BL drama, and such a beautiful one, is Two Moons 2. Two Moons 2, not Two Moons. Two Moons 2. I love that relationship. It was so cute. It's what's the ship name? Oh my god. His name was Kit. Ming Kit. So it was Ming and then Kit, and he calls him like Kit Kat, and it's so freaking cute. I haven't watched in a while. I had a beautiful video on it, and that channel got deleted because it got deleted when my other K-pop channel got deleted. But that's so cute. And the main relationship and the other side relationship, because Thai dramas have like 3 relationships, and I usually like the second main or the third main more, so they get less screen time. But they actually balanced them pretty well, and I actually liked all of them to an extent. I definitely like Min Kit the most, and I would kind of skip to their scenes a lot sometimes. But yeah, favorite BL drama. And then outside of that, my favorite BL relationship, like in general, just favorite gay relationship is oh my god, Malik from Shadowhunters. Love that. It was an established gay relationship, and it didn't take 80 years for it to happen, and it was established since like season 1. We got beautiful slow burn in season 2, and it didn't end sad. So I love that. And it got a good ending. We love it. There was relationship drama, but it didn't feel like they were just doing it to kind of add like you know, drama to it. Like there was a lot of kisses, and they were like just very sweet, like nonchalant. Like we love it. We love good, just like tender love between male couples and female couples. Love it. I sadly don't have many like lesbian relationships, because any lesbian relationship I've seen is always like in a very sad world, or it's in a show that I just don't care about, and I'm not someone who's just gonna watch something because it's gay. I have to enjoy the storyline. I happen to like Malik because I happen to like Shadowhunters, and I watched it for Malik, but I liked everyone else in it too, because I like Simon and Izzy as well. I shipped them almost as much as Malik, a little more actually sometimes in the show. But like, so I don't want to just watch it because it's gay. Like, I will never just watch something. I'll give it a chance if it's gay, but like, I think there's a lesbian couple in the 100, but I never like that show, so I don't bother. But yeah, I guess Fiona and Imogen in Degrassi, really like that couple, and they were cute. They were a cute lesbian couple. So, but they were like a little later. But I loved all of Degrassi, so I don't care. You have a tattoo? Yes, I have this tattoo. It's a reference to Stigma from BTS, my favorite song. I'm also gonna get, hopefully, like the Love Yourself Her flowers on my arm, but we'll see how much that cost. Please react to more Super Junior videos. I guess that's how we're gonna end it off. I don't know how much more I can do for Super Junior. I watch a lot of Super Junior, and I feel like the amount I'm doing is just enough. So I watch as much as I want. But don't worry, there's always going to be a Super Junior video on its way, because they're a group that I've been binging the most. But alas, I think that's it. I feel like that was a weird video, a question to end on. Yeah, I guess. Oh! How would you rank the wavy members from who gets you the most bias rec to the least? It's hard to answer that because I have my established biases and everything. I'll just exclude Lucas because we're a little wishy-washy with him right now. So I would say, I feel bad because I feel like ranking it makes it seem like I don't like someone. But I guess Yang Yang. Oh no, Win-Win. God, Win-Win. Win-Win. But he's my bias. So does it count? I guess Win-Win. Then Yang Yang. Then Xiaojun. Kuhn's been getting me a lot. so we'll put Kun. I feel like Kun would be lower. Then Tend and Henry. So in Wavy, my bias is Win and Lucas, but like, you know, a little weird with Lucas right now, so I'm not gonna like be for or against right now, but we just ignore for this question. So Win is technically above anyway, so Win, and then Young is my bias wrecker. But like Xiaojun and Kun definitely bias wreck me the most, like in terms of the other members, because I guess, can you be bias wrecked by your own bias? Because you already biased them. But I feel like you can be, so. But that's actually pretty good to end on. Making sure I don't forget anything. Oh! Since Girls' Generation is finally making a comeback, what kind of sound are you hoping for versus what do you expect? I expect, for some reason, something like Lionheart. But I would want something like G. Not like G per se, but I feel like they're not going to go all poppy, but I kind of am feeling a good poppy vibe from them. Like, I want something kind of just like fun. And because it's summer, so I want it to be like poppy, fun. What's that song, that party song they do? That one's fun. But I expect more soft, but like not too poppy, like Lionheart. Like, that's what I'm expecting. Or they might just go dark, kind of like Catch Me If You Can kind of vibes, but I don't know. I'm so surprised people remember things about me, but thank you so much. So that is it for this video. I was actually pretty accurate. It's almost 80 minutes long, so I will see you guys in another one. I'm also going to do like an update. I kind of do it every so often where I just update biases and favorite songs of groups, so I'm probably going to do that sometime soon. And I'm going to do an album, not unboxing, but like tour, I guess, like show the collection, because you guys only see really like this side. But I have like two other little, like I have a little one like that over here. And then like I have my BTS shelf that exploded one day, so that was sad. So like I kind of had only like the top half. Like it was this shelf, the big one with treasure albums and stuff. And like it tilted and it just exploded. Heart attack. But it's still like half it's still stable, so I kind of just have the top half. And it's kind of like a half shelf. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that, so I'll see you guys in that video. Bye!
3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3